Hey everybody. Okay, so today we're going to be making a scatter plot, and we talked about this very similar to the ordered pairs that we plot on a coordinate grid. So let's get started. This table here is going to be showing quiz scores. So hours studied. So if you studied 1 hour, the number of answers correct were 10. If you studied 4 hours, the number of correct answers would be 15. If you studied 5 hours, you would get the number of correct answers 25. If you studied only 2 hours, you got 12 questions correct. 7 hours, you got 32 questions correct. You studied 3 hours, you got 14 answers correct. If you studied 4 hours, you got 25 correct. And those that studied 6 hours got 30 correct. So write the ordered pairs that relate the number to the hours studied to the number of the correct answers. So remember that this is what I was telling you that I needed to do. Circle your ordered pairs so that you don't get confused. Remember, the top one is the X, the bottom is the Y. We're going to plot it just like what we would do on a coordinate grid, but then it's scattered, so it makes a difference. Let me kind of erase that part. Okay, so and you're going to type this out. You're going to write this out. I'm just circling. It gets you into that habit so you don't forget. You're going to, I don't know how many questions are going to be on data analysis and coordinate planes, but last year the STAR test had 7 questions. So please be aware that anything is possible. Okay, so the first one was 110. That was done for you. The next one is 415. So go ahead and pause the computer now and make and write it out, and then come back to make sure that what you typed was correct. I'm just going to go ahead and finish this up. 525, 212, 732, 314, 425, and 630. Okay, so again, remember to stop the computer, stop the video, write it down yourself, then come back and check your work. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, I plotted them all. Number 2, why is a scale of 1 appropriate for the x-axis? So why is that appropriate? Okay, so look at the x. So remember that this is going to be marked x, and this is marked y. So why is that one appropriate? Yeah, absolutely. All the data for the x coordinates are less than 10, so we can just use 1. So I'm just going to type it out here. All the data, and you can word it the way you want to, for the x coordinate or the axis, you can put axis, are less than 10. Let's look at the next one. Why is a scale of 5 appropriate for the y-axis? Okay, well, look how it's counted. You have the 10, 15, there's a 25. The in between is a 12 and 32, and the 14, you can easily get that, and then a 25 and 30. So here, most of the data for the y coordinate are multiples of 5. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and create our scatter plot. So make a scatter plot of the data and remember to use scales appropriate. So they've already done it. They've already labeled the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then skip count it by 5. Our job is to go ahead and label. So the title of it's going to be quiz scores. So I'm going to go ahead and type that here. You will write yours. The x-axis, what I'm going to have is hours studied. So I'm going to type it right here. The next one is going to be number of correct answers. I'm going to type that here. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip this one and then bring it back down here. There we go. All right, now let's go ahead and plot. I'm going to get my circle and darken that up. I do not want it to have transparency. And I'll make it black. So the first one I had was 110. I'm going to close that up for just a second. So I'm starting at the point of origin, which is 0, 0. So here's 0. I'm going to go move 1 unit to the right. So here's my 1 unit to the right, and then I'm going up to 10. And I'm going to place that right on the intersected lines. And that's 110. Then I'm going to start again at the point of origin, and I'm going to move to the right to unit 4, and I'm going up 15. And I'm going to place that right on those intersecting lines. Start again at the point of origin, move to the right to 5, and I'm going up 25. It's right there. The next one, I'm going to start at the point of origin, and I'm moving to the right 2 and up 12. Well, as you can see, I passed 10, the next one is 15, so 12 is going to be right somewhere in the middle. Next one is 732. Start at 0, go to 7, and again, I'll have to kind of earmark that. That's 30, 31, 32 is about right here. 314, again, I'm going to earmark that. I know it's going to be before 15, so I'm going to put it right here. Next is 4, and I'm going all the way up to 25, putting it right on those lines that intersect. And then I have 630, and I'm coming up right here. All right, make sure that you have, let's see, I had a 314. I'm going to kind of move that dot. That's about right. So I have that 314. So looking at here, make sure I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 plots. And that's it right there. Looking at this, quick question. What can you say about this one? Is it the less hours you put into studying, you answer more questions, or the more hours you put into studying, you answer more questions? Yeah, really, guys, put in the time to study and you get more confident and have more knowledge. It sticks with you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close that one. Let's move over to use the table 4 through 5 to answer these next questions. Mr. Benson records the gallons of gasoline he has left as he drives his car to Austin. Make a scatter plot of the data. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. What is my title? Very good, gasoline usage. On the x-axis, again, this will still be, the first one is x, the second one is y. So with the x-axis, this is going to be miles driven, not drives, but driven. And on the y-axis is gas remaining. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in. There we go. And I'm going to flip this over and then move this so that we can see it. And there we go. It's in gallons, and then we have our miles driven. I'm going to look. Let me change colors here. I'm going to go ahead. Remember I said to circle so that you can see. X is 30, Y is 15. X is 60, Y is 14. X is 90, Y is 12. Those are our coordinates. X is 120, Y is 10. X is 150, and Y is 9. So if you can see the way it's been skip counted, the x-axis was skip counted by 30s, right? And then the y-axis is skip counted by 2s. And that's just because of the way the numbers flow. So let's get started on plotting. I'm going to switch back over and put that there. So I'm going to start off with 30, and I'm going up to 15. And I can see that 15 isn't there. That's 14. So I'm going to be right above there and put my dot. The next one, I'll put a check mark just so that I can see that, yes, I got that done. So think of different strategies now that's going to help you when you're working on these problems solo. You're going to be working, you have your test on Friday, and you have your STAR test in, gosh, 8 more days, guys. X is 60, starting at the point of 0, or the point of origin, move to the right 60, and I'm moving up 14. And there's this one here. I'm going to start at the point of origin, go to 90, and I'm moving up to 12. Start at the point of origin, go to 120, and I'm moving up to 10. Start at the point of origin, it's 150, and I'm going up to 9. Now, there's 8, so I'm going to have to come up right in that middle because it'd be 9 and 10. All right. If Mr. Benson drives slower on his next trip, so he drives more miles on each gallon of gas, should he use the same scale on a scatter plot? Let's think about that. Should he? Is his gas remaining miles driven? If he drives slower on the next trip, so he drives more miles on each gallon of gas, should he use the same numbers, the same scales on the scatter plot? So if it was driven, if he's going to drive slower to get more miles, here we have 30, 60. Should we use that same one? No. So he should, my bracelet is clicking on my computer, sorry, use a scale of 1 on the y-axis so he can show each gallon of gas. Because remember, it's miles per gallon. So instead of here, so here, he's driving slower so he can get more miles on each gallon of gas. So maybe I should have reiterated that part. So this is on each gallon of gas, right? So we have to look at this portion right here. So rather than skip counting by 2s, we're going to skip count by 1s because he's going to be looking at getting more miles to the gallon. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next part. Charmaine wants to find the least crowded time to visit the skating rink. She records the temperature outside and the number of skaters in the rink at that time. Ooh, okay, so she makes a scatter plot on the data and she labels one axis number of skaters. Which data would be on the other axis? So let's go ahead. So what do we need to find out? Just what are you naming the other axis, right? She's going to record the temperature outside and the number of skaters. So if she's going to label 1 the number of skaters, and I'm going to go ahead, what should she number the other one? Very good, the temperature outside, and that's what she should name it. So it'll be C. Okay, because those are the 2 things she was looking for. Let's look at number 7. The swim team coach recorded the number of hours each team member practiced each week and the number of ribbons the team member won at the swim meet. So here's the plot. Ribbons won at swim meet. Sorry about that. Time practiced. So if they practiced 10 hours, they won 2 ribbons. If they practiced 14 hours, there was 5 ribbons won. So this is the number of ribbons the team members won at the swim meet. Team member practiced for 15 hours, they won 5 ribbons. Team member that practiced 8 hours won 1 ribbon. A team member practiced 12 hours, they won 4 ribbons. Which ordered pair would you plot on a scatter plot of the data, on a scatter plot of the data? Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to circle. Remember that this is, do this X, and this is Y. So which one would you end up plotting? Okay, I'm showing that I have a 10-2. Do you see that on here? No. Do you see a 14-5? I don't. Do you see a 15-5? So I'm looking here. I don't see that there. Do you see an 8-1? Okay, yes, right there, 8 and 1. And do I see a 12-4? Okay, so I don't see this one, don't see that one, don't see that one, and I don't see this one. So the one that I will end up plotting on my scatter plot is going to be C. Okay, because those are my ordered pair. Let's move to the next one. This scatter plot shows the relationship between the number of hours a waiter worked and the amount of tips received. Okay, so use a scatter plot for 8, 9, and 10. Now you want to add a point on the scatter plot to show the waiter earned $90 in tips when he worked 7 hours. So you want to add a point to the scatter plot that shows the waiter earned $90 in tips when he worked 7 hours. Where would you add this point on the scatter plot? So I'm looking on here, he earned in tips. Here's my tips. And I'm actually can't change the coloring. And this is hours worked. And I'm going to change that here. Guys, if you're needing to use colored pencils when you see it to differentiate that, don't forget you're going to have to ask for your colored pencils. Okay. So he earned $90 and he worked 7 hours. Where are you going to plot that? Okay. So I'm going to have to go starting at the point of origin, move over to the 7, and I'm going up. So where is that located? Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and place that right here. Is it the top left? That's going to be right here. So that doesn't work. Because if I do the top left, I'm right here. See that? That's not it. Let me switch this real quick, just in case you're not able to see it. I'm going to change my mouse. So the top left would be up there. Is that it? No. So let's go to the top, or the bottom left. Bottom left would be on this side. Is that it? No. The bottom right, is it going to be here? No. Say top right, so I'm going to move over to 7 because that's hours worked, up to 90. It's going to be the top right, so that's where I'm going to place it. So This is the correct answer. All right, let's go to number 8 or number 9. For number 9, a waiter worked 4 hours and earned $8 an hour plus his tips. How much did the waiter earn, including his tips? Okay, remember we are needing to write author's purpose. Guys, do not forget author's purpose. You can put AP, like the way some of the kids have created that. Author's purpose. I need to find, remember the word to find, the amount waiter earned, including tips. So you can word it any which way you want. Right? That's what I need to find. What's going to be my numerical expression? My equation. Very good. I'm going to work for 4 hours. Each hour I work, I'm earning $8. And then I'm going to add my tip. So I'm coming over here and I'm looking at, he worked 4 hours. So I'm going over to 4 hours. And how much did the waiter earn in tips? So I'm going to move up here. And this is how much. So I'm coming up here. That waiter earned $60. So I'm going to have plus 60. See how that is? I don't need to put the parentheses because order of operations means I need to multiply first, then add. So now I'm going to solve this. So 4 times 8 equals 32. Bring down my plus sign, and I'm going to add 60 to it. So what is 32 plus 60? Very good. It's going to be 92. And I'm going to move this up here so that you can see that a little bit better. So the answer then is 92. Yay! Okay. Wasn't hard. Remember, I see what I just did for that. I put fin and it's supposed to be fine. FD. Every single word problem you have, you need to write the author's purpose. Remember, in reading, author's purpose is to persuade, to inform, to entertain. In math, it's to find constantly, and then look at those text features. Let's go to number 10. A waiter that worked 2 hours and a waiter that worked 5 hours combined their tip money. Oh, that was so nice of them. So a waiter that worked 2 hours and a waiter that worked 5 hours, they combined. What does that word combine mean? That's right, to add their tip money for the day to buy a meal for their coworkers. How much money do they have to spend on the meal? Let's go over to my chart. I'm going to look for the 2 hours. Starting at the point of origin, move over to the 2. And now this one is right in between, and I'm going to highlight that part. So I want you to look right here. For the 2 hours, this is where he is at. So it's between 20 and 30, and I'm skip counting by 10, so that's going to be $25. So I have $25. The other one who worked 5 hours, I'm starting at my point of 0, going over to the 5, going all the way up. This is also in between. So he worked 75. He earned $75 in tips. How much money did they have total? Very good, $100. So the answer to this one is D. Good job. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight D. All right, there you go for this evening. You do have a test. Please go back over and focus on what, make sure that you're understanding. We're going to do a review and then have your test on Friday. A lot of you should be studying and reviewing and going back over your notes. All right, have a great evening. Please make sure that you're studying your multiplication facts. Please make sure that tonight you're studying on create at least 5 multiplications, to stack them on top or to spread them out and to do which strategy. Master the strategy that's going to work best for you so that you don't get stuck on multiplying a 3-digit by 2-digit number. Got it? All right. Guys, have a great night. See you tomorrow. Bye.